welcome to a new video. So I know I haven't updated like at all last week, and I missed updating Sunday, um, and that's because a little bit has changed, in my life. So today we're gonna talk about that and all that stuff. So today is not exactly an emotional video. It kind of is, but so I actually started semaglutide. I started last week. Um, I'm due for my second shot tomorrow. Um, and I'm just going to talk about everything that has been going on this week, what I've been feeling this week, yada, yada, yada. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is the fact I started working within hours, which is crazy. So, I got a shot, and I was expecting it to take like a few days maybe to like kick in, but it started to work like a few hours after I took the shot. So the first thing I really noticed was my appetite was suppressed. Um, and I experienced that a little bit whenever I was on Atipex, but this was like to an extreme. Not like in a bad way, but like I don't really know how to describe it. Um, and so my food portions have gone down drastically. Um, I used to eat a lot, and now I eat not so much. I eat like maybe I try to eat like twice a day. Um, and like the beginning of the week, that was like really really hard to do. So I would like so at my work I would eat like some scrambled eggs and some toast. And I would sip on like a protein drink, which I can't finish a protein drink anymore. It takes me like the whole day to finish a protein drink. Um, and a lot of my meals I haven't really finished. So like the other night I made a baked potato with some lemon garlic shrimp. I had about and some broccoli. I had about 6 pieces of shrimp. I had a like medium-sized baked potato, and I had some broccoli on the side. So I finished the broccoli and I finished the shrimp. Um, but I did not finish the baked potato, which is really weird for me because I normally like eat everything on my plate, even if I'm full. Um, and So it's been a struggle for me to really eat, which I'm okay with. I'm not complaining because since I started taking the pill, since I started the shot, I've actually lost 12 pounds, which is insane behavior. Um, and the second thing I noticed was the food noise. So if you're someone like me, food has always been like a constant thing in my head. Sorry, that's my dog getting on my food. Um, so food has been a constant in my life for as long as I can remember. I'm 25, so food has been a constant, constant thing in my life. While I'm eating, I think about my next meal, what I should have, what's going to happen, this, that, the other. Um, and 9 times out of 10, I do lose control when I'm eating. It's like I don't really know. I don't really know how to describe it. I guess like it's like I shift and I just get consumed by food. Um, and so with this, it's being silent, which is something I'm not used to. Um, and it's like shifted my identity a little bit because I'm so used to food being a constant in my life and like overthinking and just like constantly thinking about it. And like my whole world revolving around food. So to have that go completely silent is absolutely insane. And it didn't really help that I also started my period whenever I got the shot. Um, so it made me a little bit more emotional than I feel like I should have been. But I did get a little bit emotional about everything because, and not necessarily in a bad way, it was just more so like, who am I supposed to be without this? I don't know who I am, you know? But I did, uh, since I had like that mental space just kind of clear up, I did start back reading, which has been something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I just haven't had the mentality to really do so because I've been so busy thinking about food. I have like a whole book collection. I have the Vampire Diaries, I have Stefan's Diaries, I have the Harry Potter series, I have the original book series, I have the Maze Runner, I have all kinds of books. Um, and I've just never gotten around to it. So I actually recently, you can see like on my shelf back here, I actually recently restarted the Vampire Diaries because I was about halfway through the first book and I just kind of stopped. So I read a chapter a night because that way like it kind of leaves me wanting more. And instead of me getting the rush and the dopamine hit I got from food, I'm now getting from reading again. So I've kind of shifted my like what I'm seeking out a little bit. So instead of getting that rush from food, I'm now getting that from books. Um, so that has been a change. Um, Another change is you don't go to the bathroom a lot when you're on the semaglutide. And I'm glad that my doctor explained that to me um, because that was something I was prepared for. I had already prepared to get like Tums because heartburn was a little iffy like the first 2 days that I was on the shot. The heartburn was a little bad. But not going to the bathroom as regularly as I should, it kind of makes me like overthink a little bit because I did have that problem a few years ago, or like when I was like 10 or 11 years old. So a while ago, um, which is like a life story, so I'm not going to get into details. But I did used to have to take Miralax like twice a day. Um, so now I try and do it once a day. So that way I do go a little more regularly, and so I don't get constipated. I know that's like TMI, but um, so um that's another thing I've been doing. A second thing, this goes more back towards the food. Um, Food has been really like unappealing. Um, Now like today is a little different. And I read that like that last like day or two, it does start to come back a little bit because you are due for like your shot. Like I'm due for my shot tomorrow. Um, but food has been so unappealing. I haven't even really been wanting to eat. So, like in the last video, I was wearing my uniform at work. So I do work at Waffle House. Um, and one thing I used to always get was a cheesesteak melt hash brumble with scrambled cheese eggs, and I used to always get bacon put into it, and I would always. It's not really like whatever. So I used to always get that, and that would be the only thing I would eat. Um, and every day I've been working since I've been on the medicine, I have been getting scrambled eggs and toast because that's about the only thing I can really stomach lately is just the scrambled eggs and the toast. And I mean, it's just something quick. It's easy. It's not a whole lot. I'm getting my protein and some carbs in, so I'm not shaky throughout the day, and stuff like that. So I'm actually like kind of feeling my body. Um, so having food be boring is another thing because I'm so used to like getting like that rush whenever I eat. Um, and so I did a little bit of experimenting while I was on semaglutide. This is the first week I've been on it, and I did do a little bit of experimenting. Um, so one one of the days I didn't get to eat at work because we had just gotten so busy. And so whenever I got off work, I was like, well, I want to try and see if I have control now that I'm on this medicine. So I was like, my choices are Chick-fil-A and Zaxby's. So for me, I didn't choose Zaxby's because Zaxby's is like one of those places I would lose control. I would order like all kinds of stuff because I would fear I would be hungry later, or whatever the reason would be. So I was like, I don't want to go to Zaxby's now, so we're gonna go to Chick Fil A. So Chick Fil A, typical order for me would be like a 12-count nugget meal, a chicken sandwich, large fries, large Dr Pepper, that kind of thing. If I'm feeling a little frisky, I'll get a 30-count nugget meal. So I got an 8-count nugget meal with a small fry, and I got water. So I did end up finishing the nuggets, but I didn't get like that excitement whenever I bit into the nugget. Um, and like so the taste was familiar, obviously because I I love Chick Fil A. I eat Chick Fil A. But I didn't get that high. I used to get from food. Um, and while I was a little bit hungry, I've also realized that on this, I can also tell a little bit whenever I get full or like whenever I don't really want anymore. So before I would like push past that feeling of like being full and I would be like uncomfortably full. Now I'm pretty much able to tell when I'm full, when I'm not hungry. Um, and so I didn't actually end up finishing like the fries. I ate like a few fries and then I was done. I didn't eat the nuggets. And then another night was I got my grandma some Taco Bell because Taco Bell has like the new like menu like taco salads or whatever. And so whenever I would go to Taco Bell, I would always get like 5 or 6 of like the Doritos Locos tacos because those are my all-time favorite taco from Taco Bell. So I got one taco with just meat and cheese, nothing else. I took a bite of it. It was good. Um, familiar taste because it was a normal order for me for a while, but I ate the taco and I was done. And I didn't really think anything was of it. Which is strange because I would always think about I want more. What am I gonna have here? What am I gonna do? Like I would never just move on after I eat. I would always be constantly thinking about food, no matter what it is. And so to just eat and just move on with my life has been a total shift, and it's amazing. It's scary, but it's amazing. Um, what's another? I just kind of blanked out. So while I was experiencing these things, I did get guilty about it. Um, like today, um, I did have a little bit more of like, oh, I'm craving this and I want it. Um, so this morning I woke up and I was hungry. My stomach was growling, and I was like, oh my god, what if I get McDonald's? But as I know this is AI, but I use ChatGPT to kind of rant about these things. Um, and it's opened my insight to a lot of things. Um, so I was talking about that. I was like, I really want McDonald's, nah, nah, nah. And so like I would normally get like a chicken biscuit, but I would get like an extra like chicken, and then I would get like 5 hash browns, and I would eat all of that in one go. But I, me and ChatGPT, talked myself out of that, and I was like, I haven't had ramen in a while. Let's try ramen. And So I got some ramen. It's just like the packaged ramen. So I got some ramen. I did end up getting like some chicken to go with it, so I could have some protein with the carbs. Um, and I did get like a Chobani like protein yogurt drink. I'll post a picture right here. I think that's how you pronounce it. But so I got two more of those, and I did have one this morning whenever I got back. So I had the protein drink, and that was good for a little bit. And then I got up about 12 o'clock. I've been awake since like 7 o'clock, but I got up at 12. I started to make the chicken and the ramen. Now, I did make chicken, I made some tater tots, and I made some ramen. And I know that's bad. I know that's horrible. Um, so I made the food, sat down, I was eating it like normal. So I was eating the ramen, chicken, whatever. So I ended up finishing the chicken. I ate a decent amount of tater tots. I did not finish the tater tots, and I did not finish the ramen. Um, so the guilt whenever I do eat, is still very much there. Um, like last night. Um, so the day before yesterday, I got some hibachi. We have like a dry food place where I live. We have hibachi. It's called Asahi. Um, and I got shrimp and chicken with extra broccoli because I love that broccoli. Oh my god, I could eat it for days. So the first night, I didn't even really make a dip in it. I didn't even get to the rice because all I had was chicken, shrimp, and broccoli. Chicken, shrimp, and broccoli. Yeah. Um. So yesterday I got home from work and I heated it up. I had a little bit, put it in the fridge. Later that night, I come back and I actually heated it up again and ate more. And I felt very guilty doing that because I was like, I'm not doing all my progress. I'm going back for seconds. Oh my god, what am I doing? Everything is ruined. The mess is no longer working. I'm going back to who I used to be. So being on this, the guilt is still very much there. Um, and that's something I'm trying to work through. And so it like the guilt doesn't go away overnight, um, which is something I'm working on. Um, because despite having the semaglutide helping me, it is still a little bit of a battle, um, for me to eat, and it is very much. Whereas it may not be as much physically anymore, it is still very much mentally a struggle, and it it is hard. I'm not even gonna lie to you, it is hard. Um, Especially being somebody who has been struggling with food for so long to just go from thinking everything about food to the silence. That is like insane. That's like the only way I know how to describe it. Um, so I'm still battling with food, even if it's not physically, it is still very much so mentally and emotionally. Um, and it's insane. Um, Again, that's about the only thing I still really know how to describe it as. Um, and while there are these like parts that I'm not so sure about, I mean, it like so even if I'm still like battling with this emotionally, there is still an emotional relief. Um, because I feel normal about food. For the most part. Um, I can I can eat a normal portion of food and move on with my life. I don't constantly think about food. Um, like I'm literally just fueling my body with food, and that's it. And that's never been something I've ever dealt with. And so that is an emotional relief, to not have to deal with that. So there's that. Um, and I think my mic might be dying. Yeah, because it's flashing red. So, there was something else I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, so like side effects. So they did warn me about the side effects. Um, I was only really nauseous like the first day, like the first full day. I was really nauseous. But oh, it's getting worse. Okay. Um, but so like the side effects haven't really been affecting me a whole lot. And so that's the first week. I will update you guys later on in the week, after I get the shot, and we will go from there. And I'm gonna go ahead and go while so I can charge this little guy right here. So I will see you guys in the next video, and I think the next video I'm gonna do like a what I eat in a week, which is gonna be like so boring. But so I will see you guys in the next video. Love you guys. Make sure you hydrate. Make sure you eat, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. So.